What's your worst birthday memory? My mother had just moved us in with our stepdad. It was summer. They met that winter and we moved in the spring. Yanked us out of our schools and we went to tiny horrible local schools. It was a miserable time and my new stepdad was very unpleasant. And it escalated to emotional abuse quickly. I was not allowed to have contact with any of my friends. The friends I grew up with. No email. Nothing. So they tell me I can have a small birthday party and invite my friends, the ones I miss and grew up with. I'm so excited. They make plans. I make plans. My parents have me clean the entire house and I do it all. Happily, I finally felt heard. The day before, after doing yard work because party, my mum calls me out to the garage and says she's sorry, but the party won't be happening. She's contacted my friend's parents and it's all off. Why? My stepdad is having a friend to visit that day, on my birthday. I was gutted. The day of my birthday is not acknowledged beyond a verbal happy day at breakfast. To the point where when it finally came up during the visit with stepdad's friend, this friend looks pretty appalled. I didn't know it was your birthday and he seemed so sad and confused. That night my mum said she and my stepdad were going to a coffee place. I asked to come. Maybe a donut? No. You can stay here, right? That stupid pleading mom face where they ask your permission not to prioritize you. It sucked. A super sweet 15 lol. I had just turned 11 and had friends over for my birthday party. I brought people upstairs to show them my hamster. I get to her cage, look inside, and she's dead. Devastating for little me. Awkward for all my friends. I had recently moved as a child and had a really rough time of getting friends. On my first birthday party there, I had 3 sort of friends come over to our house. It was the first time I ever had my own friends over. During the happy birthday song, my oldest sister came downstairs, shoved her hand into the middle of the cake my mom made, then left. I don't remember the consequences or if she even got any, but I remember that sinking feeling of embarrassment and hopelessness. In the years to come, those friends did in fact become my best friends for a while. My dad was upset that my mom was throwing me a birthday party when I turned 8, so he called me and pretty much made me stay on the phone with him for hours, so I missed the whole thing. For my 11th birthday, I got my first camera. My dad took me to August to pick one out. He said the limit was £70, but the camera little me wanted was £85. It was this little Canon digital thing. He bought it then just came out with happy birthday Jay, because that camera was £85. You owe me £15. He said this in front of all of the staff and continued to pester me for the money for another month before my mum found out what was going on and told him to stop. So I had this friend over at my house and it was going to be my 13th birthday. Well, my brother, who was 17 at the time, asked me to make him a shake and I thought it would be funny to mix in all the worst things I could find. It had ketchup, mustard, soy sauce, Hershey's chocolate syrup, and plenty more. By the end, it was a brown that visually passed for a chocolate shake. Well, I gave it to him. He takes a sip and is gagging. Me and my friend think it's hilarious until he decides he is gonna beat my ass. Me and my friend take off running into the kitchen where we are all running left and right around an island. My family keeps a centerpiece of apples or oranges, or whatever we feel like, putting in a fairly large bowl in the center of the island, to which my brother decides he is tired of chasing us and just grabs an orange. I don't notice this yet and he launches one at my head, smacking me perfectly in the temple. Orange busts on impact and I got knocked out on the spot. My friend is scared for his life and at this point I've unconsciously pissed myself. I come to and my mom is losing her shit at my brother, who feels pretty bad now for knocking me out, then embarrassing me in front of a friend on my birthday. Needless to say, I had a headache that just wouldn't go away for what felt like forever. We all look back on it now and think it's pretty funny, but my mom still wants to beat my brother's ass for it. But went to a friend's party on my birthday. My parents wouldn't let me have one. Lots of people gate crashed, including a few rough lads who were smoking weed in the person's house. The person's dad, who presumably owned the house, came downstairs and politely asked them to leave. They told him to fuck off and stabbed him. On my 10th birthday, I broke my arm in PE from supermaning into the cinder block wall. I might have had a concussion, but when I went down to the nurse, she sent me back to PE with an ice pack. Luckily, since it was my birthday, my mom was at the school to eat lunch with me and diagnosed it in 2 seconds from asking me to hold her car keys and me not being able to. I had gone into shock and was pale as a ghost at this time. Every year on my birthday, my mom gets a Facebook memory of a picture of me and the nurse at the hospital with my arm in a soft cast. Other than breaking my arm, my birthday was pretty great since I got the presents I wanted. My birthday last month. I was pretty depressed. Everyone forgot my birthday. I got my period without any pads available. I forgot my lunch at home. And when I texted my friends asking if they still wanted to hang out after I had made some plans with them, it turns out they weren't able to show up anymore. So I took a bath, which broke the fucking faucet somehow, and then went to eat some of my birthday cake made the day prior, and of which I had only one slice, and discovered my brother had eaten it all. I know it's not super deep or anything, but that was a shitty day lol. I was 15. I was supposed to hang out with my 2 best friends and go to the movies. My dad, who has never been in my life, showed up and guilt tripped me into coming with him so he could do something with me for my birthday. He promised a dinner and to bring me back so I could hang with my friends. We ended up going to some dude's house he loved at, where my dad proceeded to smoke crack and fall asleep. So I spent my birthday sad, hungry, and basically babysitting my 39-year-old dad. Fuck that guy. Family forgot my 14th birthday. I quietly told them at the end of the day. My dad yelled at me for not speaking up sooner, while my mom denied she forgot and was just waiting for the surprise. The surprise was $10 in a brown sack lunch bag. For context, that same year my sister's 15th birthday took place in a country club, and she got a brand new car she wanted, even though she couldn't drive for another year. I got the last laugh though, because I'm 100% independent from my family and happy, while my sister is 39, divorced, and has been living with my parents for the past 4 years to save up, although she still spends all her and my parents' money on designer clothes. 2 years ago, my partner had a bad car crash when she was rushing home after collecting my birthday cake. I knew she was planning a surprise party, so was all excited. Will never forget that moment when I received a phone call from the family liaison officers and then rushing to the hospital, feeling all numb. I came home from school when I was like 17 to a birthday cake and balloons, courtesy of my mom. It was just us two, new stepdad and new stepsister. My stepsister was silent the whole time, probably because the attention wasn't on her. She could be very self-absorbed, and my stepdad seemed to mimic her demeanor because in his eyes she can do no wrong. My mom was as usual super enthusiastic and great, but my stepsister ruined that moment for me with her joy-sucking attitude, and it foreshadowed some of the years to come. When I was little, one of my friends literally threw a screaming fit and clung on for dear life when her parents tried to get her out of the car to attend my party. When I was 18, my mum forgot because it was also Easter. Then I got stood up by the friends who were supposed to be meeting me at a bar. There was also one year I just moved to a new city, knew nobody, so I took myself to the cinema for a Keanu Reeves film. The projector broke about 10 minutes in. Most of my birthdays have ended up being just forgettable mediocre. My parents argued literally all day on my birthday last year, like they couldn't take just one day to not be pissed at each other. Then, my mom took to Facebook to see if anyone would throw her a pity party, and everyone gave it to her. It started not feeling like my birthday before it even really started. It was probably my first party with friends. I'd like to say I was probably 7, and I was addicted to Legos. I had Ninjago sets that I liked a lot, and at the party I let people in my room, and I don't think that I'll ever forget how devastated I was when I found out they'd destroyed all the sets and built other things with them. That was the last time I'll let friends over for my birthday for a while.